580 Sports. This is Buzzin' Cousins.
All right, we got a couple cousins buzz. It's been a long while. What's up, Jeff?
Nothing much. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. 5 days.
Yeah, a few days. Maybe we get back on schedule here. Hey, did you by chance watch the Field of Dreams game?
Absolutely. I caught everything from pretty much the beginning to the end of it. I have to say it's a classic right off the bat. Your thoughts?
I loved it. I mean, the very beginning when Costner walked out, he had the ball. I was sitting there thinking, oh, he's throwing out the first pitch. That's pretty cool. Then he keeps walking out. Then the next thing you know, you just see the players slowly walking out. And I'm just like, dude, this is the best intro I think I've ever seen.
I thought the same thing too. When he walked out, I wasn't expecting the players to walk out after him. And when they walked through it brought back memories of the movie. And when you saw the uniforms and everything right off the bat, it's like, okay, this is going to be good. Even if the game is bad, it's still going to be good. Even the stadium, the way they put it together, it gave it that feel of 1919 all over again.
Yeah, I love how they did the stadium. Only thing I would have taken away is the video board and say, hey, they didn't have it back then. You know, they only had like 8,000 fans. It's not like they couldn't see right there. But I liked everything they did. The cornfield around it, the little wood-looking fence they had. I mean, I loved every bit.
Oh, just even the batter's eye. It looked like an old barn when you looked at it on TV. I had a double take at first. I'm like, what is that? Okay, is that a barn? Is it a structure? No, it's the batter's eye. It was just even the way they positioned the lights in the stadium, everything was easy to see in that game.
Yeah, I think it'd been cool. I missed the little middle, lost a little streaming there, but they'd have had a little James Earl Jones in there doing some commentary.
Well, they did have James Earl Jones in the what was it? An intro. He was the one that was doing the voice on when during before the commercials and stuff. Like I don't even know what you would call that on TV, but he did make an appearance in some of the videos that he did.
I'm talking like the PA announcer. You know, you have James Earl Jones introducing the batters. You know.
That would have been cool. We looked him up. What is he, 91 years old? He's 91 years old. So, yeah, I could see Travel being a little
he could have done it from home. Look what we're doing.
This is true. I was kind of hoping that Ray Liotta would have made an appearance dressed up as Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
But then have you seen Ray Liotta lately?
No, I haven't. It's not one of my people I just go look up.
Yeah, he's Botox has not been his best friend in recent years.
The game was good too, not just the feel of everything. It looked like a great game. I think you said before, he goes, man, this has the makings of a classic. And that was a good ball game from what I saw. I missed about 3 innings.
You didn't miss much. I mean, it was 3 innings. You might have. Did you see when the White Sox took the lead, the 5-3 lead?
No.
Okay, so you missed that. Yankees were up. White Sox end up hitting a home run, taking a 5-3 lead, and that pretty much stayed solid until the 9th inning. And then the 9th inning just exploded. I mean, how many home runs did you have? 1, 2. You had 3 home runs just 9th inning alone.
Yeah, I was debating. I was like, hey, am I going to turn this off? 9th inning, game's over. And I was like, let's just see. Then I was like, holy crap, here we go.
No, it was good. I mean, everything, even the fireworks at the end was a perfect. It's almost like they scripted it without scripting it. You got the game.
Sure, they didn't script it.
They didn't script it, but you got the game-winning home run in the ninth inning from the home team, the White Sox. The fireworks go off. I don't know if they were going to do fireworks anyways. My guess is they were going to, but I liked it. Everything about it.
Yeah, it's the first one. It'll be the best one. I'm sure they'll do another game next year, but they won't have that same feel as this one game, this first one.
No, it's very reminiscent to the first Winter Classic that they did for the NHL. The
Yes.
first one. They did the first one. It was in Buffalo. It was in Buffalo, and Pittsburgh Buffalo. It was a great game because it was snowing the entire game. You had that all the classic feel of the outdoors winter. But I think what really made the Winter Classic was the second one they did at Wrigley Field with the Blackhawks and Red Wings. So maybe the second one will be just as good, depending on the two teams that you have. I think the Cubs might be playing in next year's. After watching that team, I really hope not, because they're going to embarrass themselves.
Yeah, let's not get into a whole lot of that. But it would be cool, I think, from a player's side, if you've seen the movie, to go there and be like, hey, I got to play there.
Right.
I bet a lot of them were really stoked to be the first two teams in there.
And you had two good teams. I mean, the Yankees are up in their division. The White Sox are, what are they, the best team in the American League right now?
Yeah, I did like the PA announcer at the beginning when they introduced the teams. They said the first place White Sox, and then they just said the mighty Yankees.
The mighty Yankees, yeah. But then you look at the records and you realize that the White Sox have a 4-game lead over the Yankees in the standings. So it's like, okay, the Yankees, I didn't realize how good the Yankees were this year. I know they started out the season really shitty, but then they've actually gotten a lot better since then.
Yeah, they got a trade with this one guy. I don't know if you've heard of him, Rizzo, and they went on a little winning streak there. Yeah, Anthony Rizzo. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good first baseman.
Yeah, apparently he decided to wake up, start hitting some balls out. Get some RBIs here and there.
I can't disagree with that. When you think about it, he's going from Wrigley Field to Yankee Stadium, and Yankee Stadium is pretty much built with that wind tunnel that they have for left-handed batters.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he didn't get to play because of him being on the COVID restriction. It would have been, I think that might have been a big difference for the Yankees if he was in the lineup.
It may have been maybe a couple more homers.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta set our hotel up. We're gonna be up there in a couple of weeks on our trip to Minneapolis, so we're gonna stop by there, check out that field.
Now you're going to try to do both fields? I'm guessing you're only going to get to go onto the original field. They're probably going to have the other one closed off.
Yeah, maybe. If not, it's corn. I mean, we grew up with corn. We could sneak in and out of there.
This is true.
Make our own maze. Did you watch the Bears game yesterday at all?
I watched the second half of the Bears game. First half was doing a little bit of shopping, getting the essentials for the household after being in Oklahoma for 5 days, but got back just in time to see Justin Fields really just set the Bears off on that second half.
Yeah, he started in the 2-minute warning of the first half. It started like he was clicking a little better. His first series, I was like, my Lord, this is going to be rough.
He's a rookie, though. You got to think about it. This is your first NFL experience. You're playing in front of a crowd, first crowd at Soldier Field in 2 years.
Right. But he came around. He did come around and started looking comfortable. I'm not saying like a lot of Bears fans are like, oh, he's going to lead us to a Super Bowl. It's way too early for any of that. He looked like he got more comfortable in that offense in that game. We'll see what game 2 brings.
Yeah. The preseason is great just to see how players will develop. It's, that's That's how I take away preseason. It is a chance for the rookies or unsigned free agents to make their mark and get into get their names out there. Maybe they'll make the roster, maybe they won't. Justin Fields, I liked how he seemed composed. He didn't seem like he was a deer in headlights, unlike certain former NFL quarterbacks on the Bears.
Well, he didn't narrow that down a lot.
He's playing in Buffalo right now.
Oh, the last one. Oh,
The
okay.
last one.
I didn't know if you were talking the last one or the one before him or the one before him or the one before him.
Right.
The Bears have a knack of not finding the right fit quarterback. So hopefully this is a good fit and he stays progressing and stays comfortable in that pocket and playing.
I hope so. And, if they build the offense around him, which I have a feeling Nagy will end up doing that, I don't see why he couldn't be good. He's got to make good decisions on the field. He's going to make mistakes. He's a rookie. And no rookie has ever come into the NFL just lighting it up. Not even Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't play his first year. He was second year when he took over the Patriots. But look at Peyton Manning. Even though he had a good rookie year, he threw a lot of interceptions. He still made a lot of rookie mistakes. So it's going to happen. You're gonna have to get used to it. You can't fault the guy. Let him make the mistakes, because the more mistakes he makes, the more he's going to learn from it and be a better quarterback.
Yeah, I think I forgot the Bears had Damian Williams. They signed as a running back. He should have been the Super Bowl MVP when Kansas City won it, but they just handed it to Mahomes.
Right.
I think that's going to really benefit them having him, because I think he's going to have a little chip on his shoulder. He sat out last year, got lost in the mix in Kansas City.
Right.
They said bye-bye. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder running forward.
I hope so. I mean, Bears could definitely use all the help that they can. And you get guys that have the chips on their shoulders, they usually end up having a great bounce back year. So.
Yeah, do you see they signed Jason Peters?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so getting a little bit of strength, hopefully, at that left tackle. I know he's older, but veteran presence, helping that rookie out, I think that could only benefit them.
I think so. I mean, it looks good going forward, but you got to see how injuries play out too, and how fast these guys develop. I don't want them to rush Justin Fields just because he's the first round pick. I'm thinking by week 7, week 8, you'll probably end up seeing him on a regular basis. But unless the Bears are really, really bad right off the bat with Andy Dalton, let him progress naturally like most rookie quarterbacks.
Yep, I would agree with that. You bring him in a little earlier if it's a blowout either way. As a Bears fan, it's probably going to be the other way most of the time.
Right.
Bring him in, just, give him some experience, see what he can do, and you never know.
Yeah, he might come in and he might have all the confidence of a starting quarterback right off the bat and actually do really good, but I don't know. It's let Nate, don't rush him in there. Don't kill his confidence too quickly before it even progresses.
Right. So we find out, what is that? 2-3 weeks from now is season opener.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the longest season of their careers.
Pretty much. Well, even now the question is what are you going to do with the third quarterback? Because obviously Justin Fields is going to be your number 2. They're not going to have him as your number 3 quarterback. Nick Foles get traded, or he end up – what happens with Nick Foles?
I think they trade him. I think
he ends up in Indianapolis with Carson Wentz now. But watching NFL today on the NFL Network, they're saying Carson Wentz will probably make week 1. I don't know. I wouldn't trust that because of his injury history. might be a good fit because you go back to Frank Reich.
Yeah. If you're Carson Wentz, you're sitting there going, Jesus, again, not this
I
guy.
know.
But,
it's like Groundhog Day all over again.
But the dude, stay healthy. He does have that injury history, and as a team, you gotta have a quarterback to drive that offense a little bit.
Yeah, it would be nice just to get rid of that, trade him and get rid of the salary that we paid for him. Yeah. I didn't want him here in the first place.
They'll probably end up eating a big chunk of his salary this year.
Probably.
And Dalton's only on, what do you do? He signed a 1-year deal?
1-year contract, yeah.
Yeah, so chances are he'll be going at the end of the year or back at a lower salary as a backup maybe next year.
Yeah, well maybe especially if he ends up doing okay and it's not terrible, yeah, I could see him re-signing him just as a just in case. But I mean, the guy's had a decent career. I mean, you can't fault him. He played in Cincinnati, and that's going like football hell.
He didn't do bad in Cincinnati. He just couldn't win in the playoffs.
Yeah, but Cincinnati just has a history of not doing anything in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of like the Browns. I know something about Ohio and NFL teams where you could be decent, but you just can't do anything going forward.
Browns, I'm excited to see them this year since you brought them up. That division, I think, is going to be theirs this year.
I think so. Now you got Baker Mayfield, what's in his third year right now? Third or fourth year?
Yeah, fourth or fifth, I thought. 2018 okay. He was drafted.
I don't remember. I don't know. Seeing how he plays, it's almost like the Browns are a different team when he's out there. They actually have a quarterback they can build a team around. Browns are just like the Bears. How many quarterbacks have they had in the last 25 years?
How many have both of those teams had the same guy? That'd be an interesting stat to look up.
That would be an interesting stat. I think that might have to be one for a different podcast here.
Yeah. That's going to be a good division. I don't think Pittsburgh will be as good as they were. Baltimore will probably be their toughest competition, I think.
I don't see – I was watching NFL Network. They were talking about the Steelers. And since Mike Tomlin has taken over as head coach, they have not had a losing season in his entire career.
I didn't say they'd be horrible. I don't see them.
You know what? It all depends on how Brent Roethlisberger plays. If he's, if the old man bug actually hits him, they'll be mediocre. It's kind of weird because you're not going to see any team this year that has a 500 record because they added that extra game. But
yeah,
I think they could tread water and maybe make the playoffs as a wild card team. It depends on the rest of the AFC. Because you think about it, the AFC East, the only good team I see coming out of there is Buffalo.
Yep, that's the only one I would see.
Yeah, everybody else is just mediocre. I don't see the Patriots doing anything. I mean, you got Cam Newton as your quarterback still, and that did not go well for them last year.
No, that didn't. I see Mac Jones starting probably sooner than Justin Fields.
Well, he looked good in that preseason game that they played in on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, went 13 for 19. He looked confident. Cam Newton looked, nervous, like, okay, well, if I don't perform, this guy's going to have my job by week 3.
Yeah, I just don't think that's a system for Cam Newton. I mean,
no, that's Bill Belichick does not run that kind of offense. He is very old school. A lot of play action, a lot of short passes. And Cam Newton's very flashy. He wants to run the ball, even though his 30-something-year-old legs really can't do that anymore. And then trying to pass the ball for him last year did not go well. I can't believe how many short passes or overthrown passes. He just couldn't. It looked like watching Mitch Trubisky, to be honest with you.
I think Mitch was a little better last year.
Mitch was you didn't know where the ball was going to go most of the time with him.
Yeah, I think if you looked at stats, Mitch had a much better season than Cam did last year.
Yeah, Cam Newton was bad. Hence
Yeah.
why the Patriots were really bad.
And then the AFC South, shoot, Tennessee, that's the only real strong one I'm really seeing out of there.
That's the only team that I can think of because the Jaguars aren't going to do much this year.
No. Yeah, it'll be interesting on the wild cards from that conference.
I think most of the wild cards are going to come from the AFC North.
And they may, because they still have, 2 wild cards this year?
I think so. Yeah, I think they go back to the regular format this year.
Okay. Cool. Well, since we brought up the AFC, what about the NFC? Who you taking around in there?
That's wide open. What division do you want to start out with?
Well, we started North AFC. Let's start North in the NFC.
It's going to be between the Vikings and the Packers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is back, but does any of that resentment from what he said about the organization come back to, have some bad blood within the team? I don't know. The Vikings are healthier this year. They got their offensive line back. They got the defensive line back. You got Delvin Cook, who's a monster, and Kirk Cousins had a decent season last year. Maybe with some fans in the stands this year, they actually have a better team. It's going to be between the Packers and the Vikings. I think the Bears could be at that halfway point. The Lions are going to be brutal, which is great for everybody in the NFC North who has to play them because that's 2 wins right there.
Oh, don't go jinxing it now. Come on.
I don't know. You got Jared Goff as your quarterback, and I don't see anything happening with him and the Lions.
I'd agree. Packers are going to take this division. That's where I'm going. As much as I hate to say that, and Bears middle of the pack. I think it'll be Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions.
That's how I'm guessing.
And then Bears maybe coming in second, maybe. The NFC East. Shoot, I'd love to say Dallas because they got a great offense, but man, their defense still kind of stinks.
I always look at the NFC East as the toilet bowl division of the NFL because nobody could seem to want to win that division ever. It was different in the 90s when you had the Cowboys all the time, but you just got a bunch of bad teams. The Giants aren't any good.
I think Washington wins that division this year.
I think so too. Who's their quarterback? Is it still
Fitzmagic?
Oh boy. Journeyman himself.
Yeah. The 1-year wonder.
Right. Yeah, I don't see it with Dallas' defense. I don't see them. I see the offense scoring a lot of points. I see the defense giving up a lot of points, though.
Yeah, and Philly, neither one of us even said those. I would probably almost say they're going to end up last in that division.
Philly?
Yeah. Even though it'll only be like a 2-game separation between first and last.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to win the division last year. It was
last few years.
Last few years, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, play an extra game? No, I don't want to play an extra game. I want to go home.
Right. We'll go to South Florida where it's warm. I don't want to be in Philadelphia where it's sucky outside.
But and you brought up South, so NFC South, what do you think?
Buccaneers. You can't. You got a healthy Tom Brady. You've got pretty much the same team as you had last year, and you still got good coaching. You got to think the Saints don't have Drew Brees anymore. That's going to be. It's a rebuild for them. They're not going to have that same magic. You're not going to have a quarterback throwing for 5,000 yards this year.
No.
So I'm going to Buccaneers. Buccaneers are going to run away with that division.
Yeah, and we forgot the West on the AFC, so you got the West on both sides.
Oh yeah, West on the AFC. That's another crapshoot right there.
I'm going.
I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do a a surprise pick, but I'm gonna pick the Raiders.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be my surprise team is the Raiders to win that division. The only thing that, I see it is they're going to have fans in the stands. They're going to have that atmosphere that they've been talking about at the Death Star. I think it's going to do a lot of wonders for them. San Diego, the Chargers, it's just
The Nomads.
yeah, they'll have a decent season, but being second fiddle in LA and having to be almost like a guest at the SoFi Stadium, I don't think it's going to play well for them.
Yeah, I could see them making wild card. I'm still going to take Kansas City as the division winner. The West, what do you on the NFC side? What are you thinking?
I am not 100% sure. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that one?
I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, you do got Matt Stafford, who's a good quarterback. Had to play in football purgatory for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Rams winning the division, and wild cards are going to be Seattle and Arizona.
Yeah, I could see Seattle. Seattle's usually up there. Arizona had a decent year last year. But I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to agree with you on the Rams.
Yeah, we go into playoffs later when the playoffs are almost here, who we want in. To go to the Super Bowl. Well, I guess maybe we can catch up next week a little bit.
Sounds good. Any ideas for topics?
No, not off the top of my head right now.
I'm sure something interesting will come up during the first few days of the week that we could wrap our heads around.
Oh, I'm sure. Maybe we get into some movie character debates again.
Okay, I like that idea.
We'll have to come up with a couple of good ones there. So, all right. Well, everybody, peace out and bye-bye.